another edition of Sit Down Uptown, man. And Sit Down Uptown, we chop it up with the comedians who come rock Uptown Comedy Corner. And tonight, man, we got a different type of guest, man, because we got double pleasure, double your trouble, depends on how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we got officer, comedian, Mr. Daryll Triplett in the building. What's good, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother.
Now, it's going to be interesting how I make this introduction when I say officer and comedian. Because people are not going to know how to take that, right?
Yeah, people don't know how to take it. They be clicking off right now. What? I got a warning. Damn it.
So listen, man, it's good to have you here. You know what I mean?
It's been a while.
Yeah. You know, just for the record, he cussed me out this last week about not being on this podcast. So we made sure when he stepped in the building, I said, "Oh, you know what? We're gonna do it today."
It's funny. I was telling Lo that my wife's seen the actual podcast before I did.
Right.
And it was crazy because we just got out of the meeting, and she said, "So wait a minute, you're performing at Uptown July 18th, right?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You know they got a podcasts out, interviewing folks and stuff like that." I said, "Wait a minute, I ain't done been invited to nothing. Not a email, not a letter, not nothing. I ain't been invited to nothing." So when I seen Lo, I was like, "Oh, no sir. How you gonna have a podcast and not have me in it? That's crazy." But hey, look, he got me a stick here. We're sitting back here. I feel like a king right now.
That's what's up, brother. That's what's
Thank
up,
you
man.
for having me.
Good to have you, man. Good to have you. So, man, we always like to start backwards, man. We always like to take trips backwards when I do these interviews, right? So let's get a little history on exactly where you're from, what life was like in your neighborhood, how you grew up, what kind of student were you, man? Let's talk about a little bit about the young Daryll.
Mm-hmm. I was a thug.
Yeah, okay. Speak on it.
I was not a thug. I was the furthest thing away from a thug. I was probably more like a nerd.
Okay.
Not a bad nerd, though. Not like a geek nerd. But I was always really, so I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And, it's crazy because everybody always, ask me, it's like, well, did you get picked on as a kid, want to be a cop and stuff like that?
Right.
No, none of the above. It's just a passion that I've always loved. Since we were, little kids, me and my nephew used to always play SWAT team.
Okay.
Rappel off the roof in our underwear and shit like that. We just had a good time.
Right.
And it just became a reality. When I was 18 years old, I started doing security, and then I owned my own security company.
Okay.
And 21, man, I went to the academy, and I'll tell you now, that entrance exam was no joke.
Is that right?
You remember the entrance exam? That entrance exam was no joke.
Yeah.
And I flunked that bad boy probably about 2 or 3 times before I made it in there. Hey, the struggle is real, folks. The struggle is real. Y'all think this is just Disneyland or something. No, I did. I flunked that bad boy about 2 or 3 times. But you know what? My mom always said, never give up.
How about that? Never give up.
My mom would say, never give up. And I did not give up. And so, hey, I went through the police academy, started off in Columbus, Ohio.
I like how people like to go fast forward. You missed a few topics. Tell us what kind of, let's go back to Columbus for a minute here.
Okay.
What kind of student were you in school, Mr. Triplett?
Oh, man. Let me tell you this here.
Talk to me.
I did not go to college.
Okay.
I came home with the C's and D's, and my mother was like, "Well, hey, buddy, it's not how you start; it's how you finish."
Right.
Right. But I made it out of high school, and
did you participate in any sports or anything while you were in school?
I did a little baseball.
Did you?
I did a little baseball,
Okay.
and but not really real big into sports. I always thought that I was funny even in high school, stuff like that. But no, not really big into sports. But like I said, I did a little baseball.
Okay.
I did a little baseball. I played a little outfield.
Outfield?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you have a nice swing on you?
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I did. Yeah.
So now, as far as classes go, student type go, you weren't in government? You just were straight go to class, go home, play a little?
I was more straight go to class. I didn't run for class president.
Okay.
None of that stuff, man. I was just a normal old kid, man. It was crazy because, I don't want to fast forward too much, but I've done some politics in my life too. But
okay.
But back then you couldn't have told me
Would never imagine
that I would have ever been in any type of politics growing up, let alone stand-up comedy.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
do you have siblings?
Yeah, I do.
How many?
There's 9 of us.
Really?
Yeah, there's 9 of us. Yep.
You don't hear that a lot too often,
No.
So where do you fall in that tree
I'm
of
the
nine?
last of the Mohegans.
Are you really?
I am.
Wow.
I'm the last of the Mohegans. Yeah.
So you're considered the spoiled one?
No. So it's crazy because my mama died when I was just a baby. This is a weird story. It's a weird story, but it's a very true story. My mother died when I was just a baby, and my sister, who was probably about 19, 20 at the time, took me under her wing with her 3 kids and actually raised me along with her. So my sister, I call Mom.
Is that right?
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
So, so I was raised with her. You know, it was all of us in the house together. You know, and she did the best that she could with us, and she did a wonderful job.
Wow.
Hadn't
So
been
you
to
hear
prison
these
yet.
stories a lot, but but to hear that directly is very interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
You know, people look for think that, you know, hey, cry me a river, all that other stuff.
Sure.
There's always someone out there that has it worse than you.
Sure.
Always someone out there that has it worse than you, and it's got a sad story to tell. So, you know, I don't look at it that way. I look at it that, you know, I look for the best in things. And it's sort of, you know, and it transcends to comedy, you know, because I had a rough time in the academy too.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't you know, I didn't graduate valedictorian like you probably did or anything like that. But
I was number 2.
You were not. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, always a crab in the barrel. You know what I'm saying, right? He's number 2. I was more like number 52. I was hanging on in there for dear life.
Yeah.
They didn't know if they wanted to give me that certificate or not, Jack, but they gave it to me, and the gun and the bullet. But, you know, it's crazy because, you know, I always look at people and everybody want to cry a freaking river.
Sure.
Yeah, everybody want to cry a river. And I said, well, hell, I got a river to cry too. You know, but it ain't, you know, God will put people in your life to guide you through those rough times. And that's what it's about, especially with me, because, you know, God knows my mama died when I was, I don't even remember what she looked like, bro.
Wow.
I don't even remember what she looked like.
Yeah.
My daddy died when I was 13 years old.
Okay.
Had a major heart attack. He was a truck driver, drove for Sears and drove 18-wheelers, and was getting up in his rig one day and just had a heart attack. Bam, dropped dead before he even hit the ground. And, you know, so I can remember being 13 years old and feeling like, you know, God, why is all this happening to me? I'm only 13 years old, you know. So, you know, you have to look at the positive things inside, because, you know, my sister, who I call my mom, you know, she's married. She had a wonderful guy that helped raise us and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, you know, they say the man ain't gonna put nothing on you that you can't bear.
So let me ask you a personal question based on that. So your sister took you in with her and her family, but your father was still alive. So what was the court? Just curious.
He wasn't. I don't think. You know, my daddy was 50-something years old, and, you know, I don't think he was really trying to, you know, raise a kid at the time. You know, my daddy was a player, man.
Okay.
Yeah, my daddy was from the old school. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got no time for no dang on kids.
I got it. Makes sense.
You know, and you know, hey, he knew, you know, time is limited.
Sure.
And he lived his life. But I will tell you something. He was a good father, though.
Okay.
Like he bought me anything that I, you know, wanted. Not that makes a good father, whether you buy somebody something what they want, but still, he was a good man. Like, he showed me love. He, you know, he always, you know, showed me how to be a man, stuff like that. And I'll never forget one day, you know, I seen my daddy cry. His girlfriend, one of his girlfriends died, Miss Margaret. And I remember, man. I mean, I cried for 3 days straight. I said, I'd never seen my daddy cry, man. I'm like, oh, man, George is, you know, Big George is what they call him. Big George is crying, man. And I will just never, ever forget that to the day that I die. And the second time I've ever cried, like, from my heart, was when my daddy died.
Okay.
You know, that was a striker right there. And the third time that I've ever cried like that, actually, was here in Atlanta, and we were working an accident scene, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and family of 7 was crossing Tara Boulevard, and all 7 of them got hit by a car. Yeah, and the father died, and they were Spanish. They couldn't speak no English and stuff like that, and it just broke me up. I didn't cry in front of them,
Right.
you know. But, you know, all this I realized, man, is, you know, I'm really a bitch. brilliant bitch, bro. I'm telling you, I cried everything. I can't help it, But the thing is that call me Mr. Crybaby. I don't care. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's crazy. But it's crazy because when we do different things in life, man, and we're walking through these different things in life, bro. You got to take time and smell the roses.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah,
Got
man.
you. So now you're in Columbus, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
You graduate from high school. Where do you go from there?
Oh, to a crazy baby mama.
Okay.
To a crazy baby mama, and she told me she was pregnant, and I didn't know what to do, bro. I'm gonna tell you now. I was like, who you talking to, moi? I didn't know what to do, bro. I was like, I got 250.
Yeah.
I got 250. I don't got a lot, but I got that. And that was my first kid because I got 10 kids.
Okay.
I got 10 kids altogether, man. Yeah,
random family,
up,
huh?
man. Yeah. So after that, man, I was hit with this kid, and I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I was like, what do you do? Mm-hmm. I'm 18, 19 years old, just started working security, and I was like, what the hell do you do? Because that's a big responsibility for me, because I had, I don't want to say daddy issues, but my daddy, he was there for me, but we wasn't there like every day.
Right.
My mama died, so I didn't want to just leave a kid.
Right.
So it was a tough time for me at that time. So, but I knew that I wanted to do policing, but I knew I wanted to do something more than policing.
Okay.
Because policing don't pay enough for a man of my caliber.
Understood.
I like Country Club of the South.
Understood.
I don't know. You know where Country Club of the South is.
Absolutely.
I'm a Country Club of the South boy. But I knew even at an early age, bro, that, hey, I got to do something more than just policing. But I've always loved policing. And so that's where I started my first security company and I think it was like maybe 19 years old. And by 21, I bankrupted. I did. I'm not gonna lie. It says, "Officer, keep it real." I'm keeping it real. I bankrupted. I'm not used to getting no $15,000 checks in the mail.
Right.
$15,000 check. Then nobody tell me I have to pay taxes on this stuff.
Taxes on it.
Nobody tell me nothing. Oh, I'm balling like what.
Yeah.
So I was just like man, I was rolling in the dough, man. And like I said, but by the time I was 21 years old, guess what? It was bankrupt, down the drain. And at 21, I went to the police academy. And I remember, man, thinking that all of these white boys in here, there's only 2 blacks in the class, 2 blacks in the whole class, and the rest was all white boys in there. And I mean, I'm not talking about your regular white boys. I'm talking about cowboy boot, Wrangler jean wearing, tobacco snuffing white boys.
Yeah.
Hey, N-word.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That was Ohio then.
Wow.
And I can tell you now, I was involved in a lot of fights in the academy. For particular reasons just like that. I was surprised they didn't kick me out. Seriously, I'm surprised they didn't kick me out. Because I was quick to, I had a really, I was 21 years old, full of piss and vinegar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't call me N-word to my face.
No, that's right.
We fighting.
Right.
It's just that simple. I don't know what to tell you. So I did barely make it out the academy.
So let me just ask, when you had one or two of these fights, and that's the reason, what do they say to you? They being the administration, what's the conversation like?
Oh, that's just Jim Bob. You know how he is.
I knew that's gonna be that.
You heard it. You heard it 100 times. Oh, that's just Jim Bob. You know how he is.
Yeah.
That's just a good old boy. You know how he is. Just ignore him. Yeah, now I gotta ignore him. So yeah, it was a lot of fights. It was a lot of turmoil, man. I can remember my first day, and see, this is why I want to move to Atlanta, because everything black in Atlanta, right? In Ohio, reverse that. Everything white, 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 white. So you get your behind in a car with this white dude here who's probably been policing for 150 freaking years.
Right.
And you get your young buck, my stomach was flat, had, 6 packs, 32 on the waist, run like the wind, had girls all over the place, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was a threat to him, all right? And you get in the car with them, and this guy, you really get to know someone in 8 hours in the car with him, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
You get to know someone really good. And, we're driving by, and there's a group of guys on the corner, and he's kicking out the N-word, like left and right. But, hell, you're a probationary officer. You're already black. You're in a city full of whites. What do you do? So it was a rough time. I was really, I really had it, sort of rough going through that because I've always been really outspoken.
Okay.
I've always been really outspoken. And I've always been like, my biggest thing, even to today, is not letting people silence you. I hate when someone tries to silence me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I can't stand when someone try to shut me the hell up, even though sometimes I probably need to, per my wife.
Per most wives.
Yeah. Well, this is number 3 for me. I've been told shut the hell up a whole lot.
A whole lot.
I've been told shut the hell up at house. I've been told shut the hell up in the divorce court. I thought my middle name was shut the hell up for a minute, man. I'm telling you the truth. Oh God, Jesus Christ, man, you can't make this up.
You can't make it up.
You can't make this crap up.
So
man.
how long did you police in Columbus?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
10 years. I policed in Columbus 10 years.
Okay.
And I came to Atlanta on vacation one time with my homeboy, my then wife. We drove to Atlanta, and I can't remember what little hotel we stayed at downtown Atlanta. I can't remember the name of the street. It was a little rinky-dink hotel down there. But I could remember that seeing nothing but black folk, police officers. I mean, lots of black police officers. And then I found out it's under Beverly Harvard.
Okay.
Beverly Harvard, Jackie Barrett, Shirley Franklin.
Yeah.
3 black prominent female figures
Ran.
that these eyes have never seen before.
Gotcha.
And I said,
Gotcha.
I am moving to Atlanta.
Gotcha.
I don't give a damn what you do, but I, Daryll Triplett, am moving to Atlanta. And I meant that.
Right.
And I started putting in for police departments. And let me tell you something. I put in with APD. I put in with Fulton County. I put in with College Park, East Point, Mart. I put everywhere. I was like, whoever hires me first, I am out. I'm southbound.
Gotcha.
And by some luck, Fulton County called me first. Worst choice I've ever made.
Okay.
Hey, worst choice I've ever made. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. You say keep it real, I'm keeping it real. It's the worst choice I ever made. Everybody know what the brown frown is. Everybody know what that is, But but still, and let me tell you something. I'm thankful for Fulton County because it got me here to Atlanta.
Okay.
And then from here I was able to transfer my security license, which was my breadwinner, bro. We didn't make a lot back then, which was my breadwinner to, Atlanta.
Okay.
So they did that, what do you call a transfer, not lateral, you know what it is when you come from out of state and stuff. That lateral transfer. Yeah. But so the state gave me the lateral transfer credits, but the county didn't have it to where I could just sit on my ass, 4 out the 8 hours. So I had to go through the whole thing again. Luckily enough, I was a stud, and I had plenty of stamina to do that. Right. So yeah, I went through the whole thing again, bro, and it was an experience to learn, different, stuff and how we do it in the South. Now I'm a veteran of the South. I've been here 25 years. But moving here from the North, everybody, when I started the jail, everybody used to tease me because they say I sound like a white boy. I would trays up. They'd be like, "You eat it." I'd be like, "You mother." You know what I'm saying? That's all I do. I said, man, I hate going in that zone talking about trays up because I'm from the North. So all these brothers down here, they got the slang and the South and stuff like that. So I come in there, hey, trays up. And they like, you eat it. I said, I'll tell you what, but I'll tell you how I got over that.
Okay.
Is that one day I went in there, I said, trays up. And those ignorant mother lovers yelled out, you eat it. And I went down there to the zone, and I took that food cart, and I got up underneath it, and I tipped the whole damn thing over.
No, you did.
Oatmeal went everywhere. Oatmeal, bread, everything went everywhere. I ain't give a damn. I said, I bet you when I come back in here tomorrow and say trays up, you're going to get y'all asses up on that damn step and get down here so y'all can eat. And I never had a problem out of them after that.
Is that right?
Not after that.
Wow.
Not after that. Not after that.
That'll
I said,
do
now
it.
y'all eat it.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, they always gave me, heat about my accent and stuff like that and everything. Oh, you think you white, this and that and all this other stuff. I said, son, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Right.
Don't let this badge and gun fool you. Don't let it fool you.
So when was you transfer? What was your transfer from Fulton? What was the next move?
Well, it really wasn't a transfer, you might want to say. It's more like a termination.
Okay.
It's more like a termination. You could call it a transfer.
Right. Sounds better.
Right. It sounds better, but it was like an involuntary transfer on that
Okay.
brother lover. Yeah, so I got terminated by Jackie Barrett because we got jumped. I'll never forget this, bro. We got jumped in the zones because the locks didn't work in the zones. And me and one of my homegirls, who was a deputy also, went down to feed, and all these inmates popped the locks, and they came out.
Tell the people who haven't been incarcerated when you say the zones. Let them know.
So,
because most when they hear zone, they might think zone one. Tell them what they mean by zones in
right,
jail.
so in jail, for y'all who haven't been, you'll know that, like at Fulton County, first off, the lower the floor number, all right, the less the crime. The higher the floor number, the higher the crime. So you had like a Jamil Alameen up on, 6 and 7 and stuff like that. So on each side of the jail, you got a north tower, you got a south tower, all right? And then from there, you have your different zones, 5 different zones on each side of the thing. So zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on there. So that's what I mean. Then you got the rec room. So it's 5 zones that house the inmates on the, in the tower and stuff like that. So that's what I mean when I say zones.
Okay.
I'm much more smarter than I look.
Now go from there in terms of the story. You said you got jumped in the zone.
Yeah, so we got jumped. Now we had known that these locks were faulty. Everybody knew the locks were faulty. Everybody complained about inmates being able to take toilet paper, pop the locks and stuff like that, come out the cells and just do whatever. They're masturbating all over the nurses and the female detention officers and stuff. It's just freaking out of control there. And we got jumped. I got injured, ended up going to the hospital, ended up going to Grady. And Paula King, I think she ended up going to Grady too. And I was off for maybe like 3 or 4 months. I remember the sheriff calling me. Jackie Barrett called me. She said, Deputy Triplett, she says, this is Jackie Barrett. I said, I'm clear. I know the voice distinctly. And she says, I just want to tell you, hey, get well, and we're going to handle this issue about the locks in the jail. And I said, okay, man, well, I thought that was really nice of her to call and all this other good stuff. And I said, hey, I appreciate you calling, whatnot. And so a couple months go by, we had 4 more other deputies get assaulted from faulty locks in the jail. And I was like, I don't know if I cuss on here or not.
You can.
Fuck that. I was like, fuck that. Nope. Negative. Nope. And so I said something about it. I just said something to Channel 46, Channel 2, and Fox 5 about it.
Okay.
What can I say? My wife at the time was like, don't do it. She's going to fire you. I was like, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I was like, but you just got to know how I'm built. And I teach my kids now to this day, stand for something or fall for anything. Mm-hmm. And so, hell yeah, I said something about it. And I said it on the news. And I remember she was freaking furious, man. We was at roll call. And she comes to roll call. And about this time, the deputies would call me every time an inmate would escape. Hey, Trip, another one just ran out the back door, got accidentally released, whatever, right? They would call me. And I'd have my ugly face right on that news camera saying, yep, another one just ran out the back door.
Wow.
Right? She comes to roll call. She's freaking furious, man. And she goes, and I'll never forget, there's probably 30 deputies in the roll call, and then the command staff, about 10 or 11 more command staff. And she goes, I don't know who's leaking these escapes to the media. She said, but if I find out, you're gonna be history. You're gonna be gone. You're gonna be terminated. And you know, this is when I found out that most men are pussies. Because everyone who already knew what was going on in there, no one said a word.
Right.
No one said, forget the public is at risk. She is more concerned with her political career. And I kept saying to myself, I was like, Daryll, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. For you know what, my hand's up. And she goes, rolls her eyes. I know she's not this nigga again. She goes, yes, Deputy Triplett. And I said, ma'am, I just want to let you know, to your face, I'm the one that's reporting everything to the media. True story.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, I really believe stand for something or fall for anything. And I'm more scared of those inmates than I am of her.
Sure. Understood.
And I knew the clock was ticking from there.
Got you. Absolutely.
Because I was like, yeah, she's pissed.
Yeah.
She's pissed. She told me, she says, let me tell you something. This is in another conversation. She says, if you don't like the way I run this department, then you file for sheriff and you run for sheriff yourself. But until then, I'm the sheriff of Fulton County. You're just a deputy. I said, well, you know what? You got a good point. And that was the first time I ran for sheriff of Fulton County. I think we raised like maybe $80-something thousand, plenty of trips to the governor's mansion and all that other good stuff. That was my first time, my real first political move.
Gotcha.
Was doing that.
Gotcha.
And so it wasn't a transfer, to say the least.
Understood. So now we leave, your respectful departure from Fulton County, and you go where?
I go to Clayton County, and from Clayton County, I went under Victor Hill.
Okay, old Victor Hill.
Old Victor Hill. Actually, he's not a bad guy, man. He's actually, I liked him as a sheriff when it come to patrolling. Like, he was hell on bad guys, right? A little egotistical, maybe, a little bit. Yeah, okay. What, 3 foot tall. What do you think? Right? But that's my boy. He's a good man. He's a good man. But I thought he was a decent sheriff, man. Like, he had his problems. He had his ego problems and stuff like that. But I thought he was a good sheriff. I enjoyed working for him until I didn't. Okay. And I ended up leaving SO and I went to Jonesboro, where I spent a vast amount of my career. And I don't know how to say it. I got fired from Jonesboro. Okay? Jesus Christ. I don't know how to say this, all right? I got fired from Jonesboro. But listen, let me tell you something. None of these firings are my fault. And people be saying, it ain't my fault. And,
right.
I mean, you done got caught sleeping on duty. You done got caught getting head on duty. You done got caught leaving your district. You ain't turning in your report. No, none of that. None of that. First firing, so I can be clear for the record, for you judgmental people out there, first firing was politically motivated.
Okay.
The second firing was politically motivated.
Do tell.
Yeah. So I was fine at Jonesboro until this new black mayor came in.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you this here. Full disclosure, when I went back to Jonesboro, she was a city councilman. I won't call her name. Y'all know it if you just Google my name and you'll see the paper. Okay. And she was a city council woman at the time, a black female city council woman at the time, young. And my wife and I decided that when she ran for mayor, that we had to support her. We had to get behind the sister. We had to get behind her. And we did.
Okay.
We wrote her checks. Okay. And I thought it was a good idea at the time. In retrospect, I wish I wouldn't have wrote this motherfucker shit. Nothing. Matter of fact, I wish I would have campaigned against her if I'd have known what I know now. She's a horrible mayor.
Okay.
Horrible. If I didn't say horrible, I'm saying it again. Horrible. She's a horrible mayor. Okay. And what's crazy is she's the first black female mayor of Jonesboro. Now, Jonesboro has been in existence since 1859.
Wow.
Now, you can imagine the mayors that they've had in the city of Jonesboro since 1859.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to venture to say that, to me, she's still the worst mayor in the history of Jonesboro.
Okay. Okay.
This motherfucker fired me for saying, I don't feel comfortable with this. Literally. That's all I said to the woman. So, all right, let me give it to you, Lo, because you're lost. I could tell it in your I could tell it in your 8-year college boy eyes. You're lost. All right. So let me give it to you. When I was working there, I wrote her a check to become mayor. Several people did. She won the mayorship race.
Okay.
Everybody was happy, freaking ecstatic. Like, everybody was cool. Well, the former mayor, I'm not going to even get into that. Some people were like, oh, Triplett, y'all don't know what y'all went for. Y'all about to be in for a rude awakening, because I seen her behind doors in city council meetings, and she is a pistol. I was like, well, all white folks say that about black people. You know, I mean, she's cool, you know, whatever. She's a pistol. All right. She gets in the office. She comes in, and she was a dictator. Okay? She's a dictator. That's all I could say.
Okay.
The city council launched an investigation. So they hired a former sitting judge to launch an investigation into her wrongdoing, misappropriation of money, bringing weapons on the city properties, using police officers to escort her to Beyonce concerts. Just the most ignorant ass stuff that you can imagine. That's what she was doing. First female black mayor ever in doing ignorant stuff like this. All right. So I was a sergeant at the time. So they, the city council, launched this investigation, and I had to testify about what I knew about these dealings that she was doing. Now, what I've learned in 30 years is it's always the black bald-headed one that goes to jail. And I'm not going to jail for nobody. So I told the truth. I mean, I just told the truth. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I told the truth. They asked me, have you ever seen her with a gun? Yes, I've seen her with a gun on city property and stuff like that. Have you ever did this? Yeah, yeah. So anyway, she gets this report. About this time, she was intern mayor. About this time, now the full race comes around. She wins the full race. About this time, this Lawson report comes out. Tracy Lawson is the one who did the investigation, former judge, stuff like that. This 200-page document comes out. And of course, it's got my name all up in it. The chief of police name all up in it.
Okay.
Another lieutenant who we both know his name all up in it. And we all told the truth. Now, all of us is black. All of us don't have a dog in this fight that's going on with these politicians. We're just doing a job, okay? So when she becomes mayor, she wasn't mayor, 2-3 weeks? So she tells the chief to pull me in the office. And now they done put a gag order about this report. She ain't even supposed to be talking about it. She got this report in front of her. She's thumbing through this report with a highlighter. What sick bitch has a highlighter? Whatever. She's thumbing through this report with a highlighter. And she's going through this. She says, Triplett, so when did you give me campaign money? I says, well, I didn't only give you campaign money. I've given you several campaign contributions. You know, well, I don't remember this. And she's going through this stuff like that. So she wants to see my personal emails to where so she sent me these what do you call the solicitations for campaign when you run for office and stuff like that. Okay. Donations, right? She sent me several of these donations to my company. So she wants to see my security company's email address where her or her staff sent these campaign contributions to us. And I said, well, ma'am, I was very respectful. I said, I don't feel comfortable with that. Mm. And then here comes Sister Girl. Oh, you don't feel comfortable with that? Oh, get out then. Get out. Chief, suspend him, Chief, and I'll let you know when to bring him back. Suspend him 3 days without pay and then, or no, it was 2 days without pay and 3 days administrative pay. Get out of my sight.
Wow.
Just like that. Just like that. So I told my story again to Channel 2, Fox 5.
Gotcha.
Again, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, you're silently screwing me, and you don't want me to screw back. And I'm going to tell my story. So I did. I was suspended. They took my gun and badge. Mm. And I said, fuck it. I'm telling my story. Because the people need to know who they put in office. Mm. I did nothing wrong. Nothing. So anyway, I really shouldn't even probably talk about this because we still got a lawsuit going on with her in the city. I hope they don't watch this until after the lawsuit settles.
Yeah, right. So then you go back to Clayton County.
Then I go back to Clayton County.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And under Levon Allen. Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, he's a good dude.
So you're enjoying yourself now?
Yeah.
As you're winding down.
Yeah, I'm winding down, man. Career. This plane is in descent.
Yeah.
You know, buckle your seatbelts. You know, put your trays in an upright position. We on a descent. Right now. Yeah.
So tell us about how Daryll Triplett, this career police officer, gets to doing comedy.
Oh, man. I would tell you sitting down, but I could look at you and tell you're sitting down. Okay, I don't even know where to start with this. It's going to come out in the papers anyway, so I might as well tell you first.
Okay.
I was arrested.
Okay.
Look at you like, oh, God, where's my gun at? Who is this guy? It's not as bad as it sounds, though.
No.
Okay? It's never as bad as it sounds, right? I didn't do it. I swear to God, I didn't do it. Well, we're friends. Nah, it's okay. So, yeah, I did. I got arrested. I mean, you know, hey, it could happen to any of us, right? It could happen to any of us right now. And I'll be straight with you. You know, we own a business, and business is tough, and we had clients that didn't pay us. Mm. So we couldn't pay and meet our payrolls on time. So even though we sued these clients who, you know, owed us over in excess of $50,000, and mind you, this was a pastor, so I don't go to church today, that owed us this money. Well, anyway, we ended up suing them and all this other stuff, but we still were late on our payroll, grossly late on our payroll. And some employees went down and took out theft of service warrants on me.
Wow.
So I went to court, and I was like, you know, this is a civil matter. I've been a cop 25 years at the time, maybe, whatever it was. I was like, you know, they're going to dismiss this. It's just, you know, it's civil. It's all civil. You know, there's no criminal intent there. I was wrong. Wow. They locked my ass up like I ain't never had a badge or a gun before in my life. I swear to God, boy. I was like, oh, help me, Jesus. Oh, boy. Yeah, they locked me up. And
what county? What
that was Fayetteville.
Okay.
That was Fayetteville.
Okay.
And the judge told me, she was like, you know, Mr. Triplett, you sound like a good guy, but there's something muddy in the water. I was like, bitch, when do you lock somebody up because something's muddy in the water?
Right.
You got to have probable cause. Where do we do this at? So I said, but hey, okay, fine. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to Brian Nichols you, nothing like that. Here you go. Lock me up. Yeah, and they locked my ass up. I was only in jail, I was in there long enough to get cornrows and braids. I came out, I was a changed man, I'll tell you this.
Did you go Muslim?
I didn't eat pork for 24 hours. But let me tell you something. Right there, when my wife came to pick me up, it's when Officer Keep It Real was born.
Okay.
Because I was like, this is some funny, hilarious shit right here. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start speaking my truth. I don't care who likes it or who don't like it. And that's how, honestly, it all started with me with a trip to jail for some bullshit I didn't even do.
Wow.
And what's crazy is that even though, so when I got at a clinker, they made my bond. I said, well, I told my secretary, I said, take my wallet, my bank card, and get my ass out of jail. I don't care who don't get paid. I was like, I don't give a damn who don't get paid. Right. Y'all ain't gonna get paid today.
Right.
I'm sorry. And we ended up making good on the payroll. We ended up, let me tell you something. It didn't even go to court. It didn't even go to court. They dismissed the charges with prejudice, which means they did a whole full investigation of it and they dismissed the charges. I never had or never heard of. Fayette County called me and said, Mr. Triplett, an investigator from DA's office called me and said, Mr. Triplett, said, we want to apologize on the behalf of Fayetteville. We're dismissing the charges with prejudice, and you can come down and get your paperwork immediately. Now, this was 6 months after I got out the clinker,
right.
But that's what happened. And they dismissed all the counts on me. And I was furious. I was like, I'm going to sue this woman, and she's racist, and blah, 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 blah. And I looked at those attorney fees. I was like, well, this ain't the first time racism done happened. I'm keeping my money. Yeah. So that's how it all started, really, man. And I was just like, because people have told me that nobody wants to see a cop on stage telling jokes. Nobody likes the police like that and all that other stuff. And I can tell you from our first comedy show that we did, I was worried these niggas was gonna throw some tomatoes at me or something, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But I said, I gotta live in my truth. And I gotta go out here and at least try. And our first show that we did was a success. We had, black people, white people. We had some criminals sprinkled in there.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just people enjoying the company of other people.
Okay.
There was no pressure. There was no black, no white, no nothing like that. We were just at a comedy show, and we just was all enjoying each other. And afterwards, we laughed and joked and took pictures and all that other good stuff. And that was really the sort of lift off of Officer Keep It Real. And then comes all the rest of the stuff, the all cops ain't bad and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So what's your goal with this as far as the comedy goes? Like when you sit back and think about the Officer Keep It Real, all cops ain't bad comedy shows, like what does Daryll Triplett want to do with this?
Well, it's I want to take it nationwide. And what do I mean by that? Not so much even my comedy career, because I love comedy, but what I found out is there's sort of a bigger calling for me.
Okay.
Right? I thought it was comedy. I was like, yeah, I want to be like the next Richard Pryor or something like that, right? Like really, really, really big like that. I do love comedy. I do love performing comedy and stuff like that. But my wife introduced us to this thing called a 501c3 nonprofit organization, which I knew nothing about, and like I said, I was voluntold to, you're going to do this. And I thought 501c3 was just some fancy tax code thing. When I found out that it just meant that you get to do a whole bunch of work for free. Right. Is basically what it is. And, even though we work for free and we spend a lot of our money on this 501c3. It's so important because with the All Cops Ain't Bad, I've always wanted to do something. So we see the horrible situations that's happened in policing, right?
Sure.
It's been around since you've been around, I've been around, whatever. And I'm always the type of person where I'm like, I don't like to bitch about it. I like to do something about it. Okay. What can we do to help this? The comedy show, the first All Cops Ain't Bad, was a great segue into this because it let me see that comedy transcends the anger and the the tight jaw when you say police and stuff like that, right? It transcends that because laughter heals, right? And then so we're just all there laughing and healing. So we would do comedy shows and we would take the proceeds, the little money that we made from the comedy shows, and we would use them for when I worked the streets and a woman's involved in a domestic violence or something like that. She needs shelter, kids need foods and stuff like that. We didn't know what we had at the time. Okay. I just knew that, I called Lisa and tell Lisa, hey, don't be alarmed. You're going to see a charging a credit card from hotel room. I ain't doing nothing. This woman needs a place to go with her and her kids, Right. And that's really, honestly, bro, how it all started out, man. And then we sat down and we said, listen, we have something here. We didn't know what we had, but I said, I think we have something big. And then we started getting people on our board who sing, which I would love for you to sit on my board also.
We definitely talk about it.
See, that's how y'all know right there. This boy is politicked up right here. That's that Atlanta stuff right there. We can definitely talk about that right there. That's some slick stuff. So that's how it all started, bro. And then so we did our first news interview, and we said that, okay, listen, we've got to be more than just comedy, right? This is we are transcending the way that people look at cops, gotcha. Right? We're transcending the way that how people feel about cops. And I'll tell you how. So one thing that was important to me, Lisa, and the other two board members that we had at the time, was that we have people on our board that represent everyone, okay. Right? So, don't judge me because I'm a cop or because I made cuss or something like that. So we want people on our board that represents the community in which we serve. And we got to touch people where they are. So we're in a meeting one day, our weekly staff meeting, and Lisa and another young lady comes up. So my wife was homeless at one time. That's a story of a whole different other way, the reason how I met her and all this other stuff. Trust me, it's a whole other story. Right. She was homeless with 5 kids, went to the churches. No one would help her. No one would help her. No one would help her. This, that, the other. Gave her excuses, stuff like that. She was sleeping in the backyard of a shed, 5 kids.
Wow.
At one point in time. She stayed at the Atlanta Mission House in Atlanta. And she was young at the time and didn't know which way to go. Didn't have no money, no food or nothing like that. So she comes up with this emergency fund program. She said, wouldn't it be great if we had a police officer that would come to your aid on a 911 call? And yeah, I'm a mother. I got beat up. Husband's in jail. I got 5 kids here. I have no money. I have no food, nowhere to go, no way to get there. Wouldn't it be great if that officer can pull out his phone and go to an app of an organization and get me a lift, a place to stay, and food for my kids? And that, my friend, is how the emergency fund program come to life.
Wow, good stuff.
So we depend on donations from rich people like yourself. We depend on government grants. We depend on fundraisers, like the comedy shows we put on. Thank you so much for blessing us. This man here has blessed us to come here on July 18th to perform the All Cops Ain't Bad #3 comedy show right here at Uptown Comedy. And God bless you for that. Thank you so much, because you're helping. It's not only just a comedy show, it's a pathway to giving back to people who look like you and I.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So we may be blessed financially or whatever, but there's people out there who's living hell right now, and there's nothing that our cops can do but give them a pamphlet and say, good luck, and then go on to the next 911 call. Right. Well, with this emergency fund app, this is why we're having the Guardians Ball also on September 28th, which I would love to have you attend.
Absolutely.
Sponsor a table.
Definitely a conversation.
Definitely a conversation. But that's where this money goes to. Everything that we do goes to the emergency fund. We've spent already the money to build the app. We've met with Atlanta Police Chief. We've met with Atlanta Police Foundation, which is pretty good, really good people over there. Sherbaum, the chief now, really super duper guy, good guy. Yeah. I was nervous about sort of meeting him because I never really met him before, but I mean, just super guy, man. They rolled out the real red carpet for us. So, that's how it sort of all started, man. And what's great about this program is this is, a nationwide program that any officer in the world that has a cell phone can download this app and utilize this app.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And it has to come from an on-duty police officer. They have to generate a case number. Okay. They have to have supervisor approval on this app that we have laid out for that.
Wow.
Because fraud and all that other stuff.
100%.
But when you're talking about bridging the gap between our cops and the community, there's no better way to do that than someone that's on their last leg, and now they have to talk to the cops. And it's going to be a positive outcome for them.
I love that, brother.
Yeah.
I love that, brother.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yep. And I know you're getting some media conversations now, and I hope it blows up, because that's an awesome program and something that's so needed in so many communities. So, kudos to that. So, no, I like that projection where you're going with it, man. That's so when you're on stage, do you feel like a little discomfort sometimes or do you feel like it's pretty open at that point?
Depends on if I'm in a white area or black area.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm teasing, man. Most of the people who buy comedy tickets to come and see us, they know what they're getting into. They know that, all cops ain't bad. There's going to be police involved and stuff like that. We still have people, that ain't cops that come and see us, and they love it. So no, I mean, everybody that's there, I look at as friend.
Gotcha.
I haven't been heckled yet. I don't think.
How does your supervisors and your compadres feel about your comedy? What's the conversation they have with you on that stuff?
Well, that's an interesting topic right there, because my first show, I did an hour set.
Okay.
And I talk about things like, I'm not the type of comedian that says, why did the duck cross the road to get to the other? I'm not that dude, right? I'm the dude that takes you down a journey, a path. I'm inviting you into my world, or I'm coming into your world.
Best way to be.
Yeah, it's the best way to be, and it's the only natural way to be, because it's just you.
Yeah.
It's you and your audience out there. So a lot of people didn't know what to expect. Now, what a lot of people don't know is I sort of regret the first show, because I did, and people were nervous. They didn't know what to expect on the first one. They just seen this guy come marching out there, saluting in his Class A uniform, and two beautiful women beside him, and they're dropping splits and shaking their butts and stuff like that. You just don't see that every day, right? But again, I believe that we got to meet people where they are. So we come out, we have a successful show. Now, I've matured in the comedy world as far as we did this great set. We had this great show, but guess what? I can't use any of it. It's way too much cussing in it.
Okay.
I'm dropping F-bombs every 5 seconds. Okay. I didn't even notice it. When I was on stage, I was so comfortable. I'm talking like I'm talking in the police locker room or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the producer of the show said, you did a great set. The problem is if we're ever going to get this picked up, you use way too much profanity. So no big corporation wants you on, supporting an organization, and you're on a dropping the F-bomb words and stuff like that. So when I interviewed with the AJC was like, hey, we would love to see some of your comedy work from your first show. I was like, no, you don't. I was like, no, you don't.
Not that one.
Not that one. Pick another one. Pick 2 or pick 3 coming up. Jesus Christ, not that one. So it's a learning experience with this thing, man. This is nothing you just pick up a microphone and go on stage and just hope for the best, right? This is a learning experience. This is a travel experience, man. So, so that's what it is, man. That's what All Cops Ain't Bad. It's not just about cops. I had a fireman say, well, why has it got to be all cops ain't bad? Why has it got to be all cops ain't bad? I said, well, when they make a song that says, fuck the fire department,
we'll look at that.
We'll look at that. We'll put that on the table. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious.
Yeah. So these guys do a good job out here, man. And we have some bad apples out there, and we got a place for those guys called jail. But more than the bad ones, we got 1,000 more good ones out there that's just trying to do the damn job
100%.
without get a bullet put in their ass.
100%.
And that's who we stand for. That's who we represent. And this is what the emergency fund's going to represent. We've invited everyone to September 28th Guardians Ball, and that's the reason why we call it the Guardians Ball. It's not just cops; it's people like you, businessmen. It's cameramen. It's everybody that can come, that could be a guardian for our community. It's everyone, and we've invited everyone from the President of the United States to. I used to joke and say the Mayor of Jonesboro.
I understood.
Yeah.
Understood. So, Brother Triplett, man, I always end with a top 5. All right.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is gonna be easy for you.
Oh, okay. How many times have you been arrested? Well, it was that time on the beach.
Give me your top 5 movies of all time. Your personal top 5 movies of all time.
Oh, that is easy.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna think I'm a bitch. Okay, my wife's gonna kill me. I'm not soft, but I don't know why. I like Pretty Woman.
Okay, didn't see that coming.
Right?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, I told you. Yeah. Right. I'm unpredictable. Pretty Woman with Richard Gere in it.
Yeah.
Harlem Nights.
Classic.
It's a classic right there. Right. You can't go wrong with that. I love. There's one I'm trying to think of right here with. To Live and Die in L.A. I don't know if you've ever seen that one before. To Live and Die in L.A. Let me see, what other ones are there? Vegas, where they go to Vegas. Which one with the little fat white boy?
Oh,
come on, Vegas.
I
Vegas.
know you're talking about too.
Vegas.
They play it all the time.
Yeah.
What's the name of that movie? With Mike Tyson, all them guys.
Yeah, Vegas.
Something with was getting married.
No, going to Vegas and they lost the boy. He was getting married and stuff like that.
I know exactly. Oh man, it's crazy. They made like 3 of them.
Yeah. Hangover. That's what made me think of Hangover. Yeah. Hangover. And
one more.
I gotta say, oh man, what's my next favorite one? Dang, go on. Let's see. Oh, American President.
American President.
American President. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. With Annette Bening.
Okay.
And Michael Douglas.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know. It's probably not what you're expecting. You probably
no. But it's all good. It's your 5.
Thought I was gonna say Boys in the Hood.
No,
one of mine. I do. That's one of my. That's mine. But it's just not my top favorite. Like I'm
Understood.
not scrolling Netflix going. I don't want to see. I got to be in the mood for that.
No,
but
no.
yeah.
It's your top 5.
Yeah, it's my top 5. God dang it.
That's it. Hey, listen, man. It's been a pleasure to sit down with you, Brother Triplett, learn more about you. Man, good history. Didn't know about all your different terminations. Very interesting. No, it's been a lot of fun, man. All Cops Ain't Bad comedy tour. The things you're doing for the community, man. I salute you.
Thank you, brother.
That is a positive thing, man. I'm glad you and your wife put this together.
Yes,
I hope this thing gets every bit of recognition that it deserves. That's something that's definitely needed in the communities, man. I think that's something that definitely deserves to go nationwide. And I really hope the word gets out to the proper sponsors, the people who got that kind of bank
Yes,
can
sir.
see the value of something like that. You know,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes,
really,
sir.
and really, the title of your thing, man. All cops ain't bad. I have this argument all the time. You know. I know y'all see the stuff on TV, but that's a small percentage of the people who go to work every day
That's
to
right.
do their job, and they want to go home just like the next
Just
person.
like the next person.
Yeah, that's facts. So, hey, man, this has been a pleasure, man, to sit down at Uptown. My man, Daryll Triplett, officer in charge. Good job, brother.
Thank you, brother.
And we out.
Should have been did this.